So today's stream, if you didn't know, on Sunday we did a subathon. We reached a bunch of goals. So today we are doing advice with Lynn. Dr. Lynn, what would Lynn do in your situation? You don't have to DM, you don't have to put it in chat. You can DM me as well. Someone in chat messaged me and they were like, I have a crush on Lloyd. What do I do as like, how do I get his attention basically? Like what? Honestly, just be in Lloyd's chat, be active in Lloyd's chat. And then, you know, hit him up with that Snapchat. Man's kind of active on that. Sends me random pictures. He'll also go to, what is it called? Do you like Tim Hortons? You should tell them about the TikTok guys. No. No. Do you want that? Do you want me to expose you right now? Because I will. Say I won't. Say I won't right now. When is your next stream? Just wondering. You won't? Lloyd, I'm going to expose you, okay? So this is what Lloyd sent me, okay? We're going to watch this together. And then I'll tell you what he said after. Okay? Everyone listening, turn on your listening ears. Okay?
I have a question for the men. What the fuck do you want?
Not you too, Sam.
I have a question.
And you want to know? Do you want to know what he said after? He says, looking for the girl in this TikTok. So, if you have a crush on Lloyd, dress up like a cat girl, make him a bomb-ass PC computer, clean with the zip ties and everything. Oh, Alex has something? I have a thought-provoking question. As you know, we live in a world where we're starting to break down barriers and make huge strides as a community in the world. Let's say you have a family leader that is a closeted racist. How do you go about addressing this issue, and how would you do so in a way that doesn't come off as antagonizing? For me, personally, I'm an introvert at heart. I do not like confrontation. I try to avoid it at all costs. I would say he only makes remarks in Discord and not so much in public. I would just talk to them, talk to them in a way it was like, I'm assuming it's a guy, right? But it's definitely a pattern that's pretty. You know what you could say is, because you've seen this pattern, and if they are someone that's close to you, I would be like, it would take a lot of guts for me, but I think Alex, as someone that I know I think for that particular character, you have to be very careful on how you say it. Obviously, you need to address it. So I guess something like that would be like, oh, here, I'll use the name Karen because it's a meme. Be like, hey Karen, I just wanted to talk to you about something seriously, if you don't mind. I've just noticed some things that have kind of been bothering me, and I just wanted to know like what you thought of it, or maybe I'm reading it wrong, but just kind of like open that way of conversation and see how they react to it. If they don't react well to like opening up that conversation, then honestly, it's not worth the effort. Because as people who have strong opinions like that, it's gonna be very hard to change their opinion. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense for you, Alex, but that's basically kind of where I would start, is to like poke and provoke and to see, can I have a conversation about you with this? And if I can't, then maybe there's nothing I can do to help you. Maybe there's nothing to do to help this relationship where obviously he's being racist. You're a closeted racist. But yeah. It's because for me specifically, Alex, I'm very like, I don't like confrontation. And so if I know that this person isn't ready to have that conversation with me, then I'm not even gonna bother. You know what I mean? Hold on, I got a DM. Okay, so serious question, guys. How do I friend zone someone because I'm not looking for a relationship right now? How do I friend zone someone because I'm not looking for a relationship right now? For me, yeah, you call them your sibling. If they are Filipino, you call them your ading, ate, or kuya. Literally, that's like the biggest thing you can do. Is I use I was bad because I only played video games or anything with boys, and I would call them kuya all the time because I just wanted to play games. I didn't want to like get involved. You know what I mean? Kate is right though. You should tell them straight up, but call them Tito. Yeah, you can tell them straight up, but the problem with that is, I think if you don't know what their intentions are, then it's fine. It is, but what if that person hasn't told you? What if you have just like this feeling that they're trying to get in a relationship with you? You know what I mean? Being June, you're not unattractive. Please, you guys stop. Ian calls me Tito. I've been Tito son without knowing. Yeah, well, it worked for me. They should straight trail. That's what I'm saying. They should straight up tell you. But if they aren't, then there's nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean? I mean, you can say, hey, I feel like we... But in reality, are people really going to do that? When have you had conversations with people when they say that? Like, no one in their right mind in this world is ever going to say, hey, we've gotten really close. I feel like I like you. No. Like, you either say it or you don't. Just please don't. Yeah. And if they're friends with you, if they're friends with you first, or like you've met you, like they've met you before they started to have feelings for you, they should know about like where you are at life. Like if they know that you're not ready, then they're not reading like how you are talking to them. You know what I mean? The person has to confess, not you. Yeah. Cuz it's not your responsibility as someone who's receiving the liking to be like, hey, do you actually like me? Because imagine that conversation. It's so awkward. You know what I mean? And what if you're wrong? I get where Eric is coming from, but as you liking them or friend zoning them, I don't know. I just think if you like someone, be straight up about it, because then you leave people in limbo like this, right? And this is how you ruin relationships and friendships. When you don't like tell your feelings, if it had and then you kind of break up for friendship because of that. But at the same time, the responsibility isn't on the person who has the crush, right? But the thing is, the more people get to know you, like, okay, I'll use Tracy for an example. Tracy has a very, very flirty character. She's a very flirty character. Like, she'll say hi to you. She'll be like, how are you doing, sweetie? All of these things, right? But it doesn't mean she likes you. It's just who she is. And if you actually get to know a person before you like someone, you just know that's how they are, right? Like, Kate, I feel like you're also like that, because you say hello to everyone. You're so sweet to everyone. You like compliment everyone that you see. And yeah, I've been told I was really, and there's nothing wrong with being flirty, right? It's just, if people respond to your natural character of being flirty, then that's on them. Then that's on them not knowing your true character before actually getting to know you. Do you know what I mean? Hi, Lynn. I know someone who isn't very confrontational. That's me. And communicative. Okay, maybe not me. Sometimes. And I really feel annoying around them sometimes. And I can't tell if they want me around or not. Should I continue to be myself or chill? I was like, that makes sense. In my personal opinion, It's hard when you know the person's character, if they're not confrontational and they're very, very quiet. I would message them, to be honest. It's kind of what I said with Alex's whole thing with the closeted racist, even though it's a different topic. I would ask. I would honestly ask. And if they just say no, it's fine, then you have put your foot in that door. If you have put your foot in that door and they don't they just say no, everything's fine, and then they shut that door, that's on the other person, because you put yourself out and you've taken yourself out and you've said, hey, I feel like something's wrong here. Is there anything like I can do to fix it, basically? But if they say no, everything's fine, that's on the other person. That responsibility now is in that other person's thing. But that's what I mean. Like, you can't do as much. Okay. What if I message them before and they say they want to hang out and stuff, but they kind of like don't reach out to me that much? Like, I'll invite them for stuff, for example, but they don't really do that to me. So this one has a friend. Friend A feels like that friend B doesn't want them around, but friend B is not very communicative and shy. Also says that they want to hang out, but never reaches out to friend A. Friend B doesn't sound like a very good friend, in my perspective. And for someone who has a very small social bar, I would just drop them, because it's not worth my time. If you've already made an effort to ask if there's anything wrong, like with your relationship with this person or friendship, and they said no, then, like I said before, there's nothing else you can do. It's that when someone says one thing and then they don't do it, like, oh, I can't wait to hang out, then like, bruh. For me, actions over words. Actions over everything. Like, I am not very good at words, and so for me, you guys are gonna learn a little bit. My the 4 things of love is acts of service is the way I show how I care about somebody. It's different for everyone. So yeah, thank you, Star. My love language is acts of service. So I will do everything that I can to anyone that I love and adore. I will take care of your children if you really need to. I will go pick up your mom. I will go get your groceries. I will go make you whatever you need. You want to hang out, then actually that's what Kate. Like, if you actually want to hang out with someone and they want to take time out of their day, then, you know, it is what it is. It says, what are your thoughts on assuming? I have been recently told that I need to assume more for my sake, but I disagree with it. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. You know what they say about assuming? It makes an ass out of you and me. So, don't do it. Don't assume. Wait, have you guys never heard that? I grew up knowing. Why do you have to assume? Why can't people just tell you? When we meet in person, can we kiss? I'm shy. How do you cuddle asking for a friend? If they say yes, proceed to color. If no, true. Thank you, Eric. We love consent. Yeah, that's what we always ask. It's a 50-50. It's like gambling. Maybe they hit you with the maybe, question mark. Dr. Lynn asked us a question. Oh, ask you guys? Okay, I like this. Okay, chat. Actually, yeah. No, I actually have something to ask. I have a friend. And how do I word this? No! You guys. Okay, so I have a friend. And I feel like I feel like there's nothing wrong about them. But the vibes when we play games, it's not fun. Like it's genuinely draining. Like usually when you play with friends, it's supposed to be upbeat and hype and just like, you know what I mean? Like is there anything to fix that? Like how do you fix that when you know that person isn't bad? Like they're not a bad person. They just bring the energy down when you play games with them. You know what I mean? Like I feel very less inclined to play games with these people because of that. Because of someone like me, I do much better when the vibes are good. What I mean is just like it's hard because like I don't want to be a bad person. It's just I only do well when the vibes are good. For me, I try really gentle one-on-one and tell them exactly what you said. It's bringing me down, and I know you don't mean to, but that's what's happening. At that point, maybe ask if there's anything you can do or talk about it. Is it only one game? It's been across I've only ever played a couple games, maybe 2 different games with these people. There were people out there with different playstyles that don't match. True, then that's okay. You don't want to be around that energy. We all have friends that are, yeah. That's what I'm saying is like, I know deep down that that's not the energy I need in my life because, yeah, you're never forced to. So it is what it is, right? At that point, like I've started to distance myself and like do things that make me happy, play with people that make me happy, and just it's selfish, but do it for me, right? Especially you are you. They should know you're not really being mean or hurtful. You're being real, and they should be able to. True. Junie, you're gonna make me cry. But you don't mean you can't still support them or be friends with them outside. True. We love that self-care. Thank you, Bianca. Friends come and go. When you're ready to play, you're ready. It happens. Yeah. Each person you meet is a reason, and some are companions, others are for lessons. Kate, speaking facts right now. It's hard out there, you know? It's hard being a good person, wanting to be the good person, but also like making sure these people don't feel lonely. Cause like I know I'm lucky to have a group of friends who will play with me whenever I ask, and are like they'll put stuff aside. But then at the same time, it's hard when you know sometimes it's not like that for everyone. You can't force a friendship if you're generally not enjoying it. That's, yeah. I'm at the point in my life where I recognize this, but it's still sad to me. It really is. Like I think I'm also in Junie's shoes where it's like I know I shouldn't continue this, but it's like I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like I have inner guilt for myself when I know the actions I'm doing I shouldn't be doing this, but it's just like to keep my mental, I guess. It's not your responsibility. But I haven't really tried. I haven't told them. Like I've just distanced myself because I know it's not good for me. I know it's not something that I want to pursue, I guess. You know what I mean? So Timmy's question was, what are some red flags you should look out for in general? Like for relationships, both platonic and romantic. Okay. Secret flag not so lit. A red flag, I would say, are those where it was like where it's like transactional. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I bought you dinner, so now this is what you have to do for me, or this is what we should do next. Like kind of like give and take. But people keep saying relationships are give and take, but it's just it's not give and take. It's just work. It literally is just making an effort to make sure that you're both okay. Oh, when people are rude to customer service, truth in that. Also, if they are being handed everything to them, um, and not realizing the worth and effort you are giving to that person, if you are, you know what I mean, in a relationship. I'm also gonna say a red flag is someone. Oh, people true, Kate. Kate, you wanna do my show instead? You can be this. But like, I think another red flag are people who don't take what you say seriously, especially if you're in a relationship or like even just starting to date. If they don't take what you're saying seriously, then it's like, what's the point? Why am I talking to this person? The most important lesson, I think for me, is trusting my gut. A lot of people don't trust their guts, and it saved me a few times, to be honest. I think my most important is always trust your gut. Trust, trust what you feel inside. Sure, your brain and your heart might not like feel it, but like, yeah, I think if you have an inkling of something that is wrong or right, or like you just have a feeling, trust it. Yeah, sure, you might not have anything to back it up, but I usually trust it. I think another really good thing that I learned is after being in so many relationships, don't a lot of people I find, including myself, I have set myself up for failure in relationships in my specific expectations, I guess. And I think especially girls have a lot of expectations of guys, and I think guys probably do as well. And I think we need to ease off of that because we're all just people. We're all human. We're all going to make mistakes, and if you two people aren't compatible, then you're not compatible. There's nothing like you can do about it, right? Lynn, beggars can't be choosers. I'm not saying beggars can't be choosers. I'm just saying I think people would be a lot happier if you didn't stress out so much on what the other person looked at, or like just the nitty gritty of like, oh, you know how, like, I remember people saying, oh, he has to play sports, he's got to be this tall, he has to, you know, have this kind of job. Like, why are we putting people in these boxes that are unattainable when ourselves are not in those boxes? Why are we putting someone else in that standard? Because we're literally, I think that's like the core of it all for me is like, we're all just people. Like, we need to just remember that we're just people. So 90% of the boys on Twitch looking for love, honestly. Kick W. Twitch is not a dating site, guys. I don't care what anyone says. Twitch is not a dating site. Sure, it can work for some people, but like 90% of the time, it's cringe. I even put this into words. People stream to have fun. They're not here to look for love. Go touch grass and meet a girl on the screen. I'm saying that. You think I can tap into whatever DMs? People are here to stream. People are here to make a name for themselves. They're not here to you know, hey, you wanna hook up? Hey, you wanna go on a date? Sure, it works for some people. Sure. But it's like 10 to 15% work, question mark, from what I've seen. Maybe even less. Dr. Lynn, do you believe in love at first sight? No. I think that's lust at first sight. I think as you get to know somebody, you start to fall in love with that person, not just for what they look like. You know what I mean? How can you love someone if you don't even know them? Like, you're in love with the look of them. You're not in love with who they are. You don't know their deep, dark secrets. Like, you know what I mean? Love is when you want to genuinely take care of that person and make sure that they're genuinely okay. if there is no genuine caring at all for the other person, you just want that person's attention, that's not love. Love is understanding. Yeah, just what Eric said. There is no ulterior motive. Dr. Lynn, was love different for you per partner, per person? Yes. Because I think for me, I learned from previous relationships and I brought that to the next one, and understanding who I was as a person and what I wanted from a relationship, or what I expected from a partner, basically. It helped me understand more of what my definition of love was. And I also think that in a relationship, if your definitions of love are different, it's gonna be very, very hard. Don't find someone that completes you. Find someone that complements you and makes you better, not a whole. Exactly. Find someone. Oh, there was a thing that I saw. I don't know if it was on Twitter or Instagram, but it was like, don't fall in love with someone who gives you butterflies, because that's anxiety. Fall in love with someone that makes you feel safe. Hey Lynn, what are your opinions on making a kid a genius? Have you ever heard that psychologist who made his kids chess masters? I'd say if the kid is interested, go for it. If the kid is interested in that topic or area or whatever you want to make them into a genius for, go for it. But you need to make sure that they're actually genuinely interested in it. Most of the times, kids are just like so distraught because they just want to make their parents happy. Is love a choice or a feeling? Oh. I think love does have choice, but it doesn't encompass all of it. Choice is a very one-way answer for that. You don't necessarily choose to love it as well, right? Like, say for instance, when you start really, really liking someone, or where you're dating someone and you realize that you love them, that can also be a feeling where deep inside you, it has changed. Your feelings have changed for them completely. Lynn, do you think we should remain friends with exes? Me and Eric had a conversation about this before, and we had a disagreement. I think it's because I've just had bad breakups. I've always had bad breakups. I've never had a good breakup at all. And so I'm just tainted, I guess. Yeah. And me and Eric talked about it. It's like it gets case by case for everyone. I'm not friends with any of my exes. So, yeah, and well, yes, otherwise, yeah. And so, whether or not you should remain friends is super dependent on the context, so you can't, yeah. And like, if I look back at my exes, I could never. Like, even to this day, like, I've grown out of who I was then. I still think I couldn't. Just because of the way the relationship was and how deep it got. I'm fine now. Like, we all know my social circle is very, very small. My social bubble is very small. I don't need them. I'm content without those people. Is there hope for me, Dr. Lynn? I feel so skeptical with my experiences. Okay. If you're skeptical, you're not open to experience, then yeah. But at the same time, I think if you open yourself up and are just more willing to, like if you're willing, okay, this might sound kind of, it's gonna sound kind of crazy. If feel like the energy you put out into the world, it will come back to you. I know it's kind of mumbo jumbo bullshit, but like, I don't usually believe in that stuff, but I think for like this stuff in particular, it really is true, right? Like if you really put an effort into the things you want in life, it should eventually come back. But Eric's right. If you're skeptical, the people that you interact with and like start like talking to or dating or whatever, they're gonna see that. They're gonna feel it. And I think for guys specifically, they don't realize that girls will notice this. They will have like a detection on them of like, seems off. So like something seems off about this guy. It'll send like a red flag, right? You have to be open to be hurt. That's what I'm saying, Eric, too. Yeah, I'm still skeptical, but I still send out the energy hoping for the best. Yeah, but you can't be skeptical, right? You know what I mean? I am known to wear my heart on my sleeve, and it gets the best of me. So I'm gonna tell you what I tell my kids when they get upset. So when they start to cry at school because someone made them sad, or they didn't get to play with so-and-so or whatever, I'd be like, sometimes life is like that because we have other days where we can spend time and get to know other people. Maybe that person isn't supposed to be your friend today. You know, like, I talk to my kids at school like this because, like, they need to know that every day is not going to be the same. People in the life will kind of, like, want to spend time with other people, and that's okay, right? We can't control what other people do. So, I think if we just take it back a notch and really just like look back of what we did as kids and like relate that to how we are now, right, as people. Exactly. You can only control how you act. Sure you're putting that out, like, for instance, sure you're putting this out there that you want to play with so and so, but so and so doesn't want to play right now, and that's okay. We have to respect that space too, but you have to realize you're gonna get hurt, and that's okay. You're gonna cry, and that's okay. It's okay to feel these things, but that's life. I hate to say it, but it really is just life. Allow yourself to think that it's also like that gut feeling, you know what I mean? What we talked about earlier is like, you have to trust your gut and know, like, I'm gonna go into this knowing I might get hurt, and that's okay. I think like people need to talk to themselves and be like, this is what's gonna happen, and if it doesn't work out, yeah, I can freak out in that moment, but I have to realize later on that I have to step up and move past this. And if you're hurt or do get hurt, you can, yeah, you're allowed to react however you want. It's healthy. Cry if you need to, scream, kick, swear, curse, whatever. Eat all the food you want to, go to bed. Just don't hurt yourself is all I'm asking. Trust your gut. Is it ever worth to wait for someone? No. No. Because how can you grow as a person when you're waiting for someone who isn't even in your life at that time? Like, what are you gaining from that? How is that fulfilling for you? It's so emotionally draining. Yeah, what Junie said. Like, you just, like, if that person wanted to be with you, they would be with you.